What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from the Nothing But Facts podcast. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. I hope you guys watched my video yesterday talking about my college football week 6 winners. Today, we are going to pick my best bets of the week. We're going to go through some games I think you're going to get your best money's worth. And of course, we'll break them down from a schematic standpoint. And then I'll tell you, hey, do you want to throw your money at this game? Go ahead and do so. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a great day. Super hot out here in Texas, man. I thought it was going to be like, I thought the weather was going to change a little bit, but damn, it's still like just hot, but hey, we're getting to November, so we'll see what happens. We have a great game in the American Conference, a conference that I believe deserves a lot more respect. East Carolina, the Pirates going on the road against Tulane. This is going to be a 6:30 p.m. game on ESPN. Tulane is favored by 6.5. And I really do like picking Tulane to win this game. I think the difference in this game is going to be the quarterback position, and that's my guy right here, Jake Retzloff. And I know people are going to look at the numbers and say, man, the passing numbers aren't that great, but what he's been able to do on the ground, I think has been what I believe is so impressive. Jake Retzloff was at BYU last year, had a whole situation, right? Got kicked out of school, decided to come to Tulane, and it looks like it worked out for both parties. BYU, undefeated. They have their quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, and Jake Retzloff. He's just been balling. I know that, again, like the passing numbers haven't been there, but when you watch this guy play, he knows how to play that. He knows how to spin the rock. He knows how to throw the football, and he's a very aggressive runner. So I really like this bet. And this over-under being 53.5, I think I'm comfortable with that too. I think Tulane is going to win this game, number one, because they have proven to me outside of the Ole Miss loss, they can run the football. They play physical defense, and they have a quarterback that can extend plays. I think that's sort of the difference makers in conference games. You need quarterbacks. You need playmakers who can separate, and Jake Retzloff does that for you. Kaden Hauser, I think, has had a pretty good season for what it's worth. The senior, 6'3", 225 pounds from Anaheim, California. He's having a modest year, top 60 in the country in QBR. So I think that's pretty good. I want to see how in this big game environment, because he's shown that he can throw the football down the field. He can push the football. I want to see if Kaden Hauser has himself a day, because they've shown that they can score. Okay, East Carolina has shown that they can score points, right? They 58, 38, and 28. I know they lost to BYU 34-13, but they can score. But I still think Tulane is going to win this game. I think Tulane's the better team. And again, the difference maker right here is Jake Retzloff. If you want to take an anytime touchdown scorer in a game like this, I think you're looking at him right now, Jake Retzloff. He's top 50 in the top 35 in the country in QBR. And if you need an anytime touchdown scorer on the road, on the ground, you're definitely taking Jake Retzloff. He scored in I believe he scored in every game this season, running the football. Oh no, he didn't. Except Ole Miss. So Jake Retzloff, anytime touchdown scorer, that's easy money right there. And let's not even talk about if Tulane wins this game, right? Their schedule really sets up pretty well for them, right? Their schedule sets up pretty well for them. Memphis, FAU are, Memphis is a pretty good team, and UTSA. Those are two tough teams. If you can get past UTSA and you get past Memphis, I mean, Tulane can easily make themselves back into that college football playoff picture. But of course, that 45-10 loss against Ole Miss, that is definitely that's definitely a bad look. But still a lot of football to be played. Remember, it's the highest ranked group of 5 team that wins the football game, that gets into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But Tulane money line, Jake Retzloff, anytime touchdown scorer. I think those are two bets that you'll definitely make some money on. Moving right along, we're gonna go to the Big Ten. I was gonna say Pac-12 for a reason. We're gonna go to the Big Ten tomorrow. We have the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, my alma mater, going against the Washington Huskies. This is going to be a really good game. I like Rutgers defense. I think Rutgers has shown that they can play physical defense, but Damon Williams is the best quarterback that they've played thus far. What Damon Williams is able to do is really, really impressive. He's a dual threat quarterback. He can make a lot of throws. He can make all the throws. I think if you're being honest, he can make all the throws. So this is a great spot for Washington, right? Coming off of a really big time win last weekend against Maryland. You were down 20-0 against Maryland. I thought they were going to lose. And here comes Damon Williams, Jonah Coleman, Denzel Boston. These guys make play after play after play. And before you look up at the scoreboard, they're up 24-28, walked out of TD ECU Stadium with the W. So impressive stuff. But we really need to pay attention to Rutgers. Okay, Ethan Caligmanis is having himself a season. He is top 50 in the country in QBR, and man, he's really balling. He's balling for Rutgers. This has been the most steady quarterback play I've seen at Rutgers for a very long time. Clean quarterback play, solid. He can make a lot of throws, and he can make a lot of the throws because of KJ Duff. Okay, KJ Duff is a big reason into why Ethan Caligmanis can make all these throws. 14 yards a catch, 6'6", 225 pounds. Like, this dude he's a problem. KJ Duff is a problem. So, I mean, while he is a problem, you still got Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman he has 10 touchdowns. He's at 6 yards a carry, only on 82 carries. He doesn't have 100 carries like, a Hollywood Smothers at NC State. He doesn't have high usage. 82 carries, 10 touchdowns. So what does that go to tell you? It goes to tell you that a guy like Jonah Coleman is making the most of his carries. Right? He hasn't cracked 100 yards, 100 carries. He might not even crack 100 carries after this game on Friday. So this is a great game. I'm looking at this line here, minus 10.5 for the Huskies. I'm going to lean a little lower. On that. I think Rutgers is I think people are sleeping on Rutgers. I know they're making a cross-country trip. But I think this team is going to be prepared. I think Greg Schiano, as much as people knock him, I knock him a lot. I think he'll have his team ready to play. I still do think Washington wins, but I think it'll be a lot closer than 10.5. So I'll take the under on the 10.5, and I'll take Washington to win. I think it'll be a close game. I think that line is a little bit inflated. That 10.5 is a little bit inflated. I think it'll be lower than that, but I think Washington will win in a close game. I think it'll be a grudge match early. Washington pulls away at the end. I think that's how the game ends out. Moving right along, we have a dandy on Saturday. Number 7, Indiana going on the road against number 3, Oregon in Outson Stadium. Going to be unreal. Going to be an unreal atmosphere. And this is a primetime game on CBS. Everyone's been talking about whether Indiana, are they for real? Are they legitimate? They had a blowout win against Illinois at home. And people are still having questions about this Kurt Cinetti team. And this is the ultimate test, right? They had some opportunities last year. They went against Ohio State, didn't work out. They went against Notre Dame, didn't work out. Now you have a chance to right your wrongs because the entire country is going to be watching. I'm going to be watching. I'm sure a lot of people in college football universe are going to be watching to see how they respond. Now they have a different quarterback. Fernando Mendoza is playing out of his mind. The same thing can go for Dante Moore. I think this is going to be the most clean quarterback play we've seen in college football in a minute. I think 2 of these guys are going to be first-round picks. I think they're going to be top 5 picks, and I'm really excited to see this matchup. Let's start off first with what we know. We know that Oregon walked in to Beaver Stadium. They walked into Happy Valley and beat Penn State outright in overtime. We know they have playmakers. DeCorian Moore is one of the best freshmen in the country. Mateo Uyangalele is a pass rushing nightmare. Bryce Betcher is a tackling machine. Dylan Thieneman, we know what Oregon has. But What about what Indiana has? What about what Indiana has been doing to teams? What about what Curt Cinetti has been telling us about? Hey, we have guys in our locker room who can play big-time football games, who aren't afraid of the big moment. I really think this game is going to come down to two things. It's going to come down to how does Indiana find ways to protect Fernando Mendoza? And number two, if you're Indiana, how can you limit the explosive plays? De'Aaron Hill running the ball has been a problem, right? You see what he did against Penn State. I believe they're going to use him a lot moving forward. I believe he's going to be a big primary back. But Rohan Hemby on the other side is a beast, y'all. Like Rohan Hemby is the numbers aren't there, but Roman Hemby, he doesn't have a rushing touchdown, but he runs the ball hard. He's a physical back, 6 feet, 208, about 210 pounds. He's a physical back. Has Oregon seen better backs? Yeah, they saw Keytron Allen. They did. They saw those guys. But I do think that this game is going to be a lot closer than what we think. Over under 54.5. I'm going to lean on the under. I think this is a defensive slugfest. I think this is a 28-24 affair. That's sort of what I see. I think it's going to be that type of, you need to make a play after play in the second half. What do you have? What can you do? What are you going to, what's going to happen if Oregon gets up big? If you're Indiana, what happens if you're Oregon and Indiana? You're stopping the run game. Dante Moore's looking at all sorts of stuff. I think that's what sort of game we're going to see. I think it's going to be 28-24 affair. And again, I know everyone's going against the grain. I would not be surprised if Indiana wins this game. I would not be surprised if Indiana walks into Alston Stadium and wins this game. I think Curt Cinetti and his group, they've been looking for a signature win. They had their opportunity last year against Ohio State. Didn't work. Had their opportunity last year against Notre Dame in the playoffs. Didn't happen. They had a home opportunity this year against Illinois, right? They did a good job. I think Indiana is going to find a way to make this game nasty. I would not be surprised if Fernando Mendoza goes up there and puts himself into the Heisman front-running place. I would not be surprised because people are sleeping on Indiana. I've seen the film. I've seen the film on Twitter telling me about Indiana's offensive line and how Oregon is going to expose. I've seen it. But don't fret for 1 second that Indiana is not capable or equal to the task. They have playmakers. Elijah Surratt is a problem. Like, this is the best receiver that Oregon has played so far. I don't want to hear about Kyron Hudson. I don't want to hear about Trevor Pena. I don't want to hear about those guys. Those guys are cones. This guy right here, Elijah Surratt, this is the best receiver. You heard it from me. This is the best receiver that Oregon has played so far. He's good. He's really good. He's really, really good. He's a top 5 receiver in college football. Elijah Surratt came over from James Madison with Curt Cinetti. So I'm going to go with the spread. If you can take the spread, that -6.5, I don't know. I think this game's a lot closer. I think Indiana's a really good team. I think Curt Cinetti's one of the best coaches in America. And I think they make things difficult for Oregon. I know they're both coming off a bye week. I know Dan Lanning is really confident in his group. But there's something about this Indiana team, I think they're trying to make a statement and let the country know they're through. We'll see what happens. Let's put on our rewind glasses. Let's go back to August when you were looking at the schedule of Texas. You were looking at Oklahoma's schedule, and you saw the Red River rivalry. You saw it. You were like, man, I can't wait. October 11th, no longer the 12 p.m. kickoff. We're going to move into 2:30 now because of conference realignment or whatever the case may be. We thought Texas was going to be a top 10 team going into this football game. We thought Texas was going to be a really good football team. Arch Manning, probably Heisman front runner. Those were some of the things we thought. But that's not what the reality is. The reality of the situation is Texas is a 2-loss football team with a loss in conference against Florida and a loss on the road against Ohio State. 2 losses on the road. This is a neutral site game. And there's been a lot of questions about Oklahoma. There's been a lot of questions about their quarterback room, their quarterback situation. John Mateer, is he going to be prepared, right? He had surgery 18 days ago on his throwing thumb. Is he going to be available? You look at what Brett Venables says. He's giving all these weird updates. I don't know. He might this, that, blah, 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 blah. I truly believe this Oklahoma defense is legit, y'all. I truly believe Oklahoma's defense is legit. And Texas has not done a good job running the football. They have not. It has not been pretty. What do you see with Texas run the football? I mean, Arch Manning is their leading rusher. Arch Manning is their leading rusher. That is unacceptable for a team like Texas. When you have guys like C.J. Baxter, when you have a running back like Quintravion Wisner, Arch Manning should not be your number one rusher. So, I mean, Texas has a lot of problems right now, y'all. I mean, they can't run the ball. They can't move the ball consistently. And this Oklahoma defense has shown us that they can take over a game. They did it against Auburn. They did it against Michigan. And I think they're going to do it again this week. And I'm not trying to, there's no Texas hate. My brother's a Texas fan. Like, I have deep love for Texas. But I don't know what is going on. The offense has just been so downright nasty. But on the bright side for Texas, you have one of the best defensive lines in the country, right? Malik Muhammad, he's coming back, right? That's what we heard. He's trending to come back. So I really, really like Texas's defense. And again, the same thing goes for Oklahoma. If John Mateer is not playing in this game, Lord have mercy, this is going to be a slug show. Like, 42.5 is telling you something. Like, if John Mateer is not playing in this game, this is going to be one of the worst offensive games you will ever see this season. Because Michael Hawkins, their backup quarterback, has not shown me that he's equal to the task. He's a good runner. He can run the ball, but in terms of throwing a football, I just haven't seen enough from him. So again, this over-under is 42.5. I'm going to take Texas to win this game. I think they need to respond. I think Steve Sarkisian and his guys, I believe in that coaching staff. I believe in that locker room. I believe they're going to bounce back with a win this weekend. It's not going to be pretty. It will not be pretty. It will be a slugfest. But I do think Texas will win this game. I think Arch Manning, he's going to have to get his groove back. They're going to have to find a way to run the football, generate runs, right? Like that's what we understand in college football now. It's not like you're just going to go power ride, go out the shotgun, halfback dive, whatever, you want to go G. You have to generate a run, whether it's a jet sweep, whether it's a screen pass, whatever you need to do to generate some sort of run, you need to do that because Oklahoma's defense is equal to the task. But I think Texas will win, and I think Texas will cover. We'll see what happens. In our last game, we're going to talk about Nebraska going on the road against Maryland. Maryland has a really good freshman quarterback in Malik Washington, right? Similar to what we saw last year in Dylan Raiola, the hype around him. He's having an unbelievable season. And Nebraska's coming in here after they've been a solid football team. Nebraska has been a solid football team. For what it's worth, Nebraska has been solid. Impressive win against Michigan State. And then your two next road games against Maryland, against Minnesota. Those are going to be some interesting battles. But I do think in this game, the difference of this game is going to be Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson has been unreal for Nebraska. He had 3 touchdowns last week. Like, This guy is just legit. He's a complete back. He can catch out of the backfield. He can run between the tackles. Whatever you want Emmett Johnson to do, he can do it. I think this is the X factor into the game, and that's why I'm picking Nebraska to win this game. Right? I believe in Mike Locksley. Okay, I think he has the right quarterback. I believe Malik Washington is the right guy for the job. But I after last week's game against like Washington, right? You had Washington up big 20-0. You really didn't put the nail in the coffin. You did not put the nail in the coffin for Washington. And Nebraska is one of the most physical teams in college football. Their identity, what Matt Rule does, is based off of physicality. So if you think you're going to be up 20-0 against Nebraska and not put the nail in the coffin, they will come back. And they will win this game. But I still think Nebraska is going to win this game. And they're the better team. Emmett Johnson's the difference maker. He's been the difference maker for this football team. The way he runs the ball, what they've asked him to do coming out the backfields. I think he's a difference maker, and that's why I'm taking Nebraska to win. Take Emmett Johnson, any touchdown score, you will definitely make some money. Emmett Johnson, any touchdown score, you will make some money. But we'll see what happens. The Big Ten is still, I think the Big Ten, I don't want to say it's wide open, but I think the Big Ten is in an interesting spot. I still think we're still rounding out the Big Ten. I still think we are. I still think we are because no matter what you say, Penn State is going on the road against Ohio State. I know people are going to kill me for this, but like that might be the best defense that Julian Saint has played. Like that might be the best defense that Julian Saint has played. So am I saying that Penn State's going to beat Ohio State? That's long. That's down the road. I don't know. That's down the road. We'll see what happens. But I think this Big Ten race is still very much early. And I think 3 weeks from now, we'll see the pretenders from the contenders. We'll see what happens. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing. Love you guys. God bless. Peace.